Hello everybody! So for today's project, we're going to be making snow globes. So what you're going to need for today's project is a pair of scissors, a glue stick, a black marker, Sharpie, or just, a pen will work, anything that you've got at home. Something circular that you can trace. So I have a bowl that I'm going to use to trace. Or you can use an old container of some sort, so something that's got a circle on the outside, and preferably something a little bit larger. You'll also need an image. So if you've got a newspaper or if you've got a magazine, you can kind of flip through and try to find something that's got kind of a darker image would work better. So any kind of image from a magazine or a newspaper. I had on the ready some blue paper and some white paper. Any kind of scraps will do. You can also find those colors in a newspaper. And I also had a piece of brown paper, or if you can find a piece of brown image in a newspaper or in a magazine. And then the final thing you'll need is an actual piece of just white plain paper. Grab one. So just a piece of white paper, and this will be our main background. So the first step to this project is getting your image, whatever it is you decide to use, and you're going to trace a circle. So kind of picking where I want to see the background image, and then you want to trace. Once you've got your image traced, you want to cut that image out. Cutting out your circle for your snow globe. Then you got a circle. I found a really cool art magazine, so that was helpful to get a really bright, colorful background, but it can be anything that you like. The next thing to do is take a piece of brown paper, or if you've got a piece of newspaper, you can color it in brown, however you'd like to do it. And then I'm gonna cut out a trapezoid. I think that's the name of this shape. It's something, so it looks like a stand. So this is what our snow globe is going to sit on top of. So that's the shape. And then once you've got those two things, grab your white piece of paper, which will be your background for our collage. So in case some of you don't know, a collage is when you glue pieces of paper on top of each other to form another image. So I'm first gonna glue down the circle that I cut out. And I'm gonna glue it down to my page. And then I want to glue the stand over top of it. And it might bend up, see how mine's kind of, the glue's making it not lay flat, and that's okay, it'll lay flat at some point. And then I'm going to glue my base down on my snow globe. Make sure it lies all flat and smooth, so you want to smooth it out. So that's kind of how it starts off with your snow globe. This is going to be our base. And the next step is thinking and imagining what would be in my snow globe. What do I want it to look like? What kind of scene do I want to have in there? Here's the example of the one that I did already. So I ended up putting a snowman and a big snowy hill, and then I ripped up little pieces of paper to put the snow pieces. So with the snow globe, you know, everything lays flat, and then when you shake it, all the snow comes in and then it kind of falls down. So kind of think about that while you're making your globes. For the background, I just ripped up blue pieces of paper and glued them down. So I'm gonna do something similar with this one. I think I'm gonna use some blue paper to put some more sky color in there. So just ripping up pieces of paper and kind of laying them down where you feel like they'd look best. I like to leave a little outline from the original image, my background image. So it kind of makes the snow globe scene a little bit more, so it pops. See how I'm leaving an edge around here? And I did the same thing on this one too, where I left the edge of the original image. Just kind of gives it a little bit of an extra fun factor. So I'm going around the edge first. You can glue it however you want. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about, you know, what I want to put in my image, something that I'd like to see. And then for the bottom, I think I'm gonna do maybe a little tree scene. So I'm gonna draw out some trees. I just drew out some trees to put at the bottom there. Now I'm going to cut those out so I can add those to my scene. You can cut these out too. I'll give you another example of how to make some trees to put in your snow globe. Those are the trees that I originally cut out. I'm going to see if they fit, and they do. Might need to trim it a little bit. But another way to draw some trees that you could try is, you could just rip it. So I could rip a tree that looks like this and glue it down. You don't necessarily need to use your scissors. It's kind of fun to rip paper anyways. So these could be my trees that go in the background here too. Just looking for some scraps of paper. This is the original image that I had, and I'm going to use some of this other blue to add to the collage. It's kind of cool when you rip paper because you're getting some of these other lines. So see how that white line is there from where I ripped it? So that might like look kind of cool on the finished snow globe. I'm just gonna add glue to the rest of it and just start layering it up on top. Some of that rainbow, might leave some spots that aren't covered just to add something to the piece. So again, I'm just ripping and like leaving some of the white there just to add some dimension to it. A little bit more blue to the bottom here, some of that dark blue that I started with. And still just ripping up pieces of paper, adding more glue. See how the paper's kind of flattened out once I started working on it too. Now I'm going to get those trees in there that I drew. Those are my trees. Try to get down all the little corners. That's kind of how it looks right now. And I think I want to add some snow. So for snow, I had to add some snow on this snow globe. So see how they're just like little pieces of ripped paper. So I'm going to look for some scraps that I have that maybe I haven't used, and rip out a bunch of little small pieces of snow. So those you want to like have in the smaller pieces, which are going to be tricky to glue down, but once it's all done, it'll look really cool. You can have big snowflakes, you can have little snowflakes. This is your little world that you get to create, which is part of the fun. So maybe one more. I'm going to put those down. One more. That's kind of my snow globe. What I did with the other one too is I added a little black to the base and then also put a ground line on there. That's something you can choose to do if you want. And I wrote the word snow globe. I think I will go ahead and outline the base. And put a ground line on it. So it kind of looks like it's sitting on a table. And then that's the snow globe project. Here's another example. And again, you get to create your own little world, so kind of try to get a little bit imaginative with it, because these can really make a smile. Have a good one. Bye.